Welcome guys, welcome to the channel. Appreciate you guys coming through. God bless you. Today is Sunday, guys. I hope you guys have a great day. I am reading for the book of Samuel, and I'm in 2 Samuel. I'm going to read verse 8 from chapter 7. So it says like this: Now then, tell my servant David, this is what the Lord Almighty says. I took you from the pastures, from tending the flock, and appointed you ruler over my people Israel. Now guys, I know you guys have heard the story of David. Who hasn't? He's done mighty things thanks to the grace of God. God has favored him. He's known for pursuing the heart of God. He's known for basically being this scrawny little young man who took down Goliath, but as well has fallen from the glory of God. I mean, he has made quite a few mistakes, as we all. Why am I talking about David? Because before David got to the story, or before you start reading the story of David in the Bible, there was two people that were very important in his life, which was basically Eli and Hannah. And these two people were, one was a priest and the other one was a woman, which was the wife of the priest, who actually asked God for a son or a child. Hannah wanted a child, and she promised God that if she was to give her one, that she would basically dedicate his life to God and God alone. So not only did God grant her that wish, and Hannah honored her word, God gave her son Samuel a gift, which was basically the ability to be able to prophesy, hearing God's word, and specifically, God would basically speak to him and him alone, and therefore he would go and speak to his people. Samuel was the one who actually spoke to a young man by the name of Saul, who became king. And if you read the story, Saul had made quite a few mistakes because he fell short from the glory of God. And his time in the kingdom was going to slowly but surely deteriorate. And God was no longer going to favor him anymore. But Samuel kept doing what God told him to do. And he came across this young man, which went by the name of David. And he prophesied over his life. And the story goes on, guys. I mean, you have had to have heard it or spend the time in reading the Bible, and you will know more about it. David came into Saul's army, not by chance and not by coincidence, but because God ordained it. And when Goliath came and said, I will fight one of you guys, and if one of you guys will beat me, then you guys can make my whole army your slaves. And of course, as the story went, David stood up and said, I will do it. And David took him down. But it was David who took him down because God had favor on David's life. And that's what God has in most of our lives. You know, God can grant you favor as long as you are serving him and only him. Now, we all have something to contribute in this life. We all have something that God has given us. There's a gift in you and in me. It's up to you whether you want to use it for good or for bad. It's up to you whether you want to use it for God's glory. And most of us probably don't even know what gift we have. But there is that certain something that you can do better than someone else. And that's a gift. And we're fortunate if we know what it is, and if we put it to good use. And we can use it for God, because that's what it was mainly for. God gave you a gift for that, for you to serve him and to use that gift only for him. And that's why I made the decision from going to streaming and going to teaching you guys how to put APKs and so on and so forth, I decided to make the 360 turn and use the real gift that God gave me, which was the gift to talk to people and have not only a conversation with them, but have an interaction with them. And God has given me favor with so many different people throughout my life. And I know that my gift is to preach the word of God. I was told that at a very young age. I was told by my mom that my Uncle Sam, who was in a retreat, put his hand on her stomach and started prophesying over her stomach and said that the girl that was in her stomach, as he spoke word at that time, was going to be transferred into a boy who shall be called Peter, which means rock. And also he said that he's going to go through different things, and he's going to go through a lot of tribulation, a lot of trials, and a lot of obstacles, but through God he will get over that situation. And he is going to be used in a mighty way, and he's going to be speaking to legions. Well, guys, it's what I've been doing for the past couple months. I'm not speaking to legions, but I'm speaking to different people. Right now I have, 3,600, I believe, subscribers. And I have more people watching my channel or watching my videos that are not subscribers than my own subscribers. So what I'm trying to say is that if God made a promise to you, or if God had prophesied to you, trust me, it will happen. Whether you like it or not. Things are going to change for you. And if you prayed that prayer that I gave, that I prayed with you guys last Sunday, and you start asking God, what is your purpose for my life? And how can I contribute in your kingdom? Then you will find out. You will be able to do what God has in store for you. You just have to believe. You just have to pray. You just have to ask God, every day for forgiveness and every day for wisdom and how you can help out someone else other than yourself. That's basically the word that I have today for you guys. I just wanted to let you know that you are not insignificant, that you have something to give in this world, that it's not a coincidence that you're here, and wherever you're at, there is something you have to give. And the gift that God put in you is the gift that you're supposed to use to glorify Him. I'm using my gift that was given to me before I was even conceived. I knew about this, I've heard about it many times, but I never applied it. I knew that God had favor over my life because everyone that I speak to, for some reason, people get along with me. People like me. And I don't think that's just a coincidence. That's just God giving me favor. And wherever I speak, people listen. And that's just the gift that God gave me. Hence the fact I am speaking now and you're listening. I hope that God blesses you on this day. I hope that you guys take this word and put it into practice. I thank you guys for taking the time and the opportunity to watch this video. Don't forget to bless someone on this day so that you can be blessed. Don't forget to give thanks to God for another day and for being able to start all over. I hope you guys have a great day today. Do something nice, guys. Do something nice. Real quick, the week before Christmas, I'm driving down the street and I see a McDonald's, and right, I would say about 6-7 feet away from the McDonald's, there's a bus stop, and there's this lady who I see sitting on the grass, petting a cat. And she looked like she had something black over the front of her chest. Don't know what it was, but I knew it was cold outside. So I thought to myself, well, let me stop at the McDonald's, get, a cup of coffee from her, because it was cold that morning. Yeah, we're in Florida. You might think it doesn't get cold, but it was cold that morning. It was about 40 degrees and windy. So I go into the drive-thru. I get I order the breakfast and I order the coffee, and they told me to go ahead and park a little further up because they didn't have the coffee ready. So the whole time I'm sitting there, I'm thinking I don't have to walk around and go to the street to where the lady is. I could just reach over the grassy area where I'm parked, and I can see her, and I'll give her the coffee and the breakfast. So the lady comes out from the McDonald's and gives me the coffee that I was waiting for. And so I come out of my car, and as I'm grabbing the coffee, I see the lady standing up as I'm looking over the grass area and the bushes. And when she stands up, she is turning around, and as she's turning around and I'm holding the coffee in the bag, I noticed that the black thing that was covering her was actually the jacket turned backwards. So she takes off her jacket to put it up the proper way. And I noticed that it looked like a uniform. And then she takes her hat that she had turned around and turns it, the right way, and I see the McDonald's logo. Well, I was embarrassed. I turned around and I'm like, well, I guess I have a breakfast this morning. I felt so, I don't know. I felt stupid because I was like, she was not a homeless. She was not out there because she didn't have a place to go or she didn't have food. She was an employee who was taking her break. And I went out of my way to buy her coffee and breakfast. But nevertheless, what I'm trying to say is, guys, if you see someone out there that you can help and you have it in you to go out of your way to help someone else, bless someone else, trust me, God will bless you in return. I'll see you guys in the next one. Hope you guys have a great day.